Wizards. Welcome to episode 29 of Wizard Wednesdays. And boy, oh boy, do we have a very exciting episode ahead of us this week. We have finally seen BTC achieve $8,500. Now, we provided a market breakdown yesterday going over exactly what happened in the market, but we still will always be delivering Wizard Wednesdays every Wednesdays on time as per, and that means we've now got double the analysis to go over. That also means we have to recoup what was covered yesterday, go into even further depth, and actually start understanding in this episode what could be going on moving forward. Now that we've seen arguably one of the biggest calls I've ever made, besides the $20,000 to $6,000 call and the break of $6,000, this is now one of my third biggest calls, and I'm not sure what order to categorize it in right now, but this is one of the largest calls given in the market, and arguably one of the only people that actually gave this prediction when we were at this range over here. So a few people have, they've claimed to have made this call, but we haven't actually seen any proof as of yet. If you actually go on Twitter, you go on Telegram, and you just go through all of the historical analysis, all of the price action, all of the tips and tricks, you will see this has been anticipated now since we have pretty much started breaking out to the upside. This for me was one of the final zones that we can actually start considering for downside biases before shifting over to a bullish bias. Now that we've seen this region fulfill, I am still a little bit cautious, to be honest with you, that we could be seeing a little push lower before we continue higher. But overall, let's actually just kickstart this right now with the BTC projection I've got open over here. Using the Bitstamp chart versus the usual Bitfinex chart, what you can see is from a Bitstamp perspective, I analyzed and annotated all of this from January the 1st, which is the red line, the midpoint of 2019, and of course the remainder of 2019, with January the 1st, 2020 being here. So we are currently viewing a timeline essentially of what BTC has been doing and how it's unfolded to absolute perfection in line with the overall 2019 bias. So besides the early stages when we actually started breaking out, and I was caught off a little bit off guard with the unexpected push through the $8,000 region. I remember breaking through this region here. We saw the pullback, we caught the pullback, but this initial breakout here was what surprised me, and I did believe we would have started to reverse from this region. But when you look back now and you look at all the market clues, this was a clearly driven and manipulative movement to kickstart the year before absolutely destroying investors, shifting into the final part of 2019. So looking at all of this now, January 21st, 2019, we saw the first half, we said start of a new market trend, 2019 mid crossover. You would have seen the tweets and the Telegram message as well. I said it was going to be a very bullish start to 2019, and this is exactly what we've seen. The bullish momentum, the cross point after 6 months is over. We have shifted to consolidation. We've now broken through. I changed this in yesterday's analysis video as well. All we've done is we've broken the support floor of around $9,400. That's the actual real crucial level, all the way down to $9,000. We've now seen this region. We have now gone exactly to $8,000 on the Bitstamp chart, but we're obviously sitting at around 8,300, and I think we fell a bit short on the Bitfinex chart. We actually fell to around $8,100, almost to the absolute T. So a little bit of a variation from around $100, give or take, but overall you are seeing exactly what's been projected unfolding. And looking at this movement now and seeing how I've actually annotated with a purple region, a purple rectangle, to pretty much indicate the final 3 months of 2019. So this box here is going to be where a lot of focus is going to be presented. As I said, the remaining half of 2019, bearish and consolidating market behavior, but as the misconception may have gone, and something I covered in yesterday's breakdown, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to keep consolidating or falling for the rest of the year. What I actually mean is once we shift over, we will begin seeing the bearish consolidation and the bearish push lower. From there, I do believe, again, final 3 months, anticipating the real bull run to commence from 8,400 to 8,000 or all the way down to $6,000. Now, in between that level, we only have one crucial region that I'll highlight, but it's already highlighted on the other BTC chart. So just to throw it out there as a midpoint, it's not necessarily something that's too important, but I will just mark that out as well for visibility purposes. Very small zone over here. We'll change the color to fit this within the box. In fact, let's just make that very bright. Let's just make it blue just for the sake of visibility. This is the only real region in the midpoint that I do believe will come through. Lots of prior price action here as well. So overall, what you're seeing right now is BTC weakness. We have to be cautious because the overall bias for me now is one of these regions is going to be met, whether that's this region maintained, whether we hit this region, or whether we go all the way down to $6,000, which right now is looking like a huge possibility. And once this comes through, it will very likely be, as I said from the very beginning, obviously seeing that little push down as well. We've got some trend lines here to be cautious of. Anywhere within this region, to be honest with you, especially down to here, down to around $5,700, which I'll mark up on the other BTC chart. I believe around $6,000 to $5,700 could actually be the final turning point of BTC. This will be where price is driven down to. The BACT effect, everyone was saying BACT wouldn't have a large effect, and it didn't during the initial launch, but I said just be patient, just await this, and it will very likely come through. And the BACT effect came through straight away, an exact mirror of what we saw with CME futures when they were listed in December 2017. And not just that, to actually throw this on top as well, this highlighted zone smashed through this support floor. There hasn't been a retest yet. This is the only thing I'm a little bit cautious of right now. I would like to at least see a retest of around $9,200 to around $9,400. That would just make perfect sense. And again, adding some Fibonacci's and stuff, I will go to the other chart in a second. You can see there are some nice alignments around this region, but overall, if we do see, let's just say $7,000, you can see there's a nice alignment with the 61.8 on the Fibonacci region. So what I would advise, and something I did advise in yesterday's analysis video, is, to be honest with you, after seeing such a large movement in the market, it's in your best interest to actually just be taking, either closing the position altogether or just leaving around 10% running. There's no point being greedy. You've captured a huge movement from $10,800. You've captured over 2,000 pips in movement from a single trade, and that's not to mention that if price does push a little bit lower and you have 10% running, you have made so much money effortlessly. It's absolutely beautiful. So just don't be greedy and actually be sensible during these moments, and just realize that there is nothing wrong with taking profits off the table. It could actually be very beneficial in your favor to just completely get out of the market for the time being, wait for it to actually make its next movement, and then from there we can dictate what to do. So I'm in two minds right now. I need to see how these levels hold up first of all. So if I go back to the main BTC chart, here's why we may not even be seeing that pullback right now, because the momentum, as good as it looks, is actually showing quite drastically what could be occurring on a 4-hour perspective, which isn't showing on the daily right now. Well, it is now, but overall you get the gist. So looking at this level, we broke through around 9.4, 9.3, pushing down to around 9.2. That was the first extended target. However, after breaking through, you can see this level of crucial support, which held many months in advance. It held as resistance, broke through, and the first retest came back to retest this level, and then again, and then again. So it's seen 3 retests of this level, and to break through, exactly as I said with $10,000, the more this region attempts to get retested, the more likely it is to weaken and actually give way for price to follow through. And that's exactly what's happened here, and very drastically through this region, which shows the bearish momentum far outweighed what this level could do, even if it was holding since July. So I am at least expecting some form of pullback, to be honest with you, around this region here. I do believe no matter what happens, we will be back at this 9,200 region very soon, but we need to see how these levels hold up first, because at the end of the day, everyone's trying to buy now. And what's leading me to believe, this is why we're in two conflicted regions, because if we do start pulling back now to retest this level, there's also a broken trend line over here, which could lead us much higher and actually just kickstart the bull run from there. But the reason I actually believe we may be seeing a continuation lower first of all, I know yesterday I had the feeling that we would be reversing straight away, but the more I'm looking at this now, guys, we've broken this counter trend line, we've fallen all the way down, we've hit a key level, and on the 4-hour, you can see, although we're holding within this nice region, we've actually pushed through. We held exactly at $8,500. which was our profit taking region and our final region for 2019. We've broken through, we've come up, we've now retested this region, which was once support, now turned resistance. It's showing telltale signs on the 4 hour and even on the 1 hour. We've broken below, we've rejected and we rejected. And again, just showing you the absolute sheer importance of these key levels I've provided. Broken, retest. It's looking very good right now and giving early signs on the intraday that this could be continuing lower. The easiest way to find the targets now of where the market's moving is simply looking at the broken counter trend line I told you about. Arguably, if you follow this right now, then yes, it's precisely in line with that exact level. So if this does maintain and we do start seeing that pull back higher, then what we will potentially be doing from here is reversing and continuing with the overall upper trend and the overall long-term bias, which is bullish. No matter what you say, even if the long-term bias is bearish because we've been in a bear market, the long-term bias, the actual overall goal of being in crypto is to leave the market with a profit many years down the line. That means no matter what is happening on a daily, weekly, monthly, or even on a yearly basis, the overall longer-term horizon is always going to be bullish. That's the main goal of investing in a particular asset and in an exciting new space at the infancy stage. And as you may have seen me tweet before, it's no different to actually having a baby. The same way you have to invest the time into watching a baby grow and, just sitting there with the baby 24/7 or just being with the baby, the same occurs for crypto. You're investing in the infancy stage, which means you must invest your time into watching this infant grow and mature. And for the space to mature, we obviously need to be seeing further growth, which obviously is coming because we're seeing it all being infrastructured in the present day. So this is all long term, this is all a good perspective. But if you do just drag this a little bit lower down to there, you can see there is a bit of an alignment with our downside key level of around 7,700, 7,600. Not to mention this Fibonacci. Now this is something I plotted so long ago with the head and shoulders formation. You can see the 61.8 lines up quite nicely with 5,500, so 78.6, sorry. So we'll leave that all there. And not to mention the Fibonacci, the A and the, let's get rid of this. I believe it was this setup. Got the magnet on. So we had this one as well. So we've fulfilled that 8,500. We can now get rid of that and we can anticipate what could be essentially around that region. If it does close there on the weekly, then yeah, we could be seeing a retest around this region, but for the time being, I'm not really too concerned about this. My main overall goal is trying to understand and capture a move that could be the catalyst for the next bull run. Now, if you look at the absolute low to the absolute high of 2019, once this was formed and we caught this reversal, I plotted this Fibonacci and it's been on every single Wizard Wednesdays. It's been present for months now. It's literally been since we saw this reversal. We've had this open for around 3 to 4 months overall. So it's been here for a very long time. 7,200, perfect alignment with the 7,200 region we covered, and then pushing even lower, we've got $5,500. And remember, something crucial to take away from this is even if we close, this is what I've been trying to tell people, even if we do close this year at around $6,000, let's just draw that trend line. There is that perfection. Look at this trend line here. Even if we close at $6,000, BTC has still made 100% return on investment since 2019 began. So putting this into perspective and using this theoretically in an easy way to explain, you're still ending the year better off than you did when you started the year. And this is the whole point. This is showing that even if you land here exactly at $6,000, which is looking very likely. Now I've actually just spotted this trend line as well. It could even bounce here and bounce again. Broken trend line here on a weekly perspective. As you can see, this was the trend line, the counter trend, broken. Once we actually start pulling higher, the retest could be occurring from there. I do not really believe we'll be seeing a pullback, a retest, and a continuation lower. I do believe it's more likely going to be a slam down, continue this trend, and then we just start rallying for the bull run. If we do start pulling up to these regions, then for me, it's a bit more of a telltale sign that, price isn't really going to be coming back down anytime soon. So with this theory in mind and looking at the daily right now, this trend line, this trend line, you can see, just needs to be retested, and this is literally the final level. It's exactly, I've literally mirrored. This is why it's so easy And as exciting as this all is, this was all planned a long time ago. And if you look at the trend line, how I've drawn it from the wick to the bodies, really going for that cheating trend line, it almost came through with precision anyway. So key level right below, trend line right here, many different confluences. This should be a very nice downside push within our favor. So hopefully we see that very soon. We'll go over to XRP in a second as well, just to give that a bit more of a breakdown. But from a weekly perspective, guys, again, we have just fallen short. I did say with the head and shoulders, it would likely be forming around this region. So give it another week. We actually could, I do believe by the end of this week or by next week, we could actually be at $6,000 at last. Now remember, when price was here, no one even believed it could go back to 6,000 from here. When it was up here, no one believed me, and it's just so funny. I actually have archives. I have screenshots of every single of some of the biggest pages in crypto, you know, who laughed at this call, who criticized, and I'll never release it, I'll never show it, but there were archives there just for personal sake, and just to kind of show, in the worst case scenario, all of these people that we trust so dearly with information and so-called expertise, they're actually just completely winging it, and they actually do not understand market dynamics. When you go back to this region, again, crypto Twitter was going over the moon, screaming all of these wacky predictions. No one really thought to look at the possibilities of what could be occurring coming from a downside perspective as well. Everyone just looks for the glory, but no one actually looks for what could be occurring behind the scenes and how the overall charts are looking. This is more than just fundamental analysis. This is all purely technicals, to be honest with you. A lot of it comes from purely just using trend lines and key levels, as I covered yesterday. But there are obviously many other deeper aspects that go into it, which, again, simply, it's all in the Wizard platform. You guys are asking me, you know, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? Guys, I've put everything into the Wizard platform, so you know exactly how to do this stuff. And that's the best part of it. I've made it so simplistic. It's a piece of cake. Once you've actually grasped the concepts that I've been providing you, there's nothing I've left missing within that platform in terms of education. If it's something that I've used to obviously potentially identify this movement, again, I would say 99.99999% of people, there obviously is someone out there and people out there who have obviously predicted this, but no one really put themselves on the line during that moment and during the market. Again, who would have called $6,000 here? That was a very risky move on my behalf to even give, knowing that it could have had a lot of backlash if we blew to all-time highs, and it was a lot of pressure even giving such a significant call to the masses. Again, you know, the following's growing, we're getting so many new participants in the market. That was a very hefty move on my behalf to make, and I'm glad it's come through, because hopefully it's shown you now the difference between the mindsets and the difference between the so-called traders and analysts out there who are just providing wacky predictions 24/7. There's no real thought out decision, there's no real precision in these levels. You know, they can't just say it's going to fall to $5,000. You know, be a bit more precise. Is it going to be 8.4, 8.3, 8.2? And as you can see, the precision and the way I've actually understood reading charts in the present day, this has taken years to get to this stage where I can actually read these charts so fluidly. Even like $8,500, you can see perfect rejection of that level. Could have been any region. I said it could have said 8,000 on the dot. We didn't hit 8,000. We slammed lower, but we closed and consolidated at 8.5. That is precision, and that is how analysis should be. You want to give yourself, the more precise you are and the more you learn to read markets, the more odds you've put in your favor to actually trade more efficiently and more profitably, but also to actually catch better moves and better entries. So on that note, let's just have one final look at what I'm trying to say here, because I really want to get this message across. So I've got a trend line here. This is very interesting, something I'll definitely be paying attention to right now. And looking at this as well, the broken counter trend line. So we already know we have an upside bias in mind. No matter what happens, no matter how long it takes, there is a broken trend line now that needs to be retested. So even if we hit here and pull all the way back up, that's simply a long-term Fibonacci move. As you can see, 61.8 is there, 5,500 is there. We are more than happy to see these levels come through. We could see the drop down to 5,500. The candles close back within the 6,000 region, up to the 6,200 region. And then from there, we continue rallying all the way back up. And this is my point. By the end of the year, I actually believe we could be at least at $11,000, if not at $16,000. We could actually even continue breaching these yearly highs by the end of the year. We still have 3 months left for the end of the year. The crossing point is over here. And if you look at what kind of movement you can see within a 3-4 month period, then you understand that the possibilities are huge of what could be unfolding. Looking at how this works on a weekly perspective, the candle we've seen now, which is something I was telling you guys as well when I was giving this 8,000 call and even the $6,000 call, I was just saying anything can change at any given moment, and when the going looks too good, it normally means it's time to get out. And the current weekly candle you've seen now is absolutely nothing compared to what we've seen before. I mean, the bullish candles in the bull run, absolutely huge. The bearish candles in the bear market, again, you're looking at several $1,000s in movement with each weekly candle. All we've seen so far is around a $1,500 move, if that, barely, a little bit more than that, to be honest with you, now that it's pulling up. But what we could be seeing on a weekly candle perspective is even several $1,000s being wiped out at any given moment. So let's just say we start seeing a $3,000 move or a $4,000 move, it would make perfect sense, and it can still happen within a week. It's only Wednesday, and then we still have next week as well, which is when I believe we will start seeing the turning point. I believe the final turning point for the crypto market will commence from October onwards. Once we actually start shifting into October, conveniently when the Wizard platform launches, now that we've seen $8,500 as well, it's all just stars aligning. There's all kinds of different, almost universal confluences going on here, and it's all working behind the scenes. It's crazy how everything's actually managed to work out this way. So considering that all of this could be shifting over in perfect alignment with one another, I truly believe this is something that the Wizards have almost manifested into reality. It's pretty crazy to see this all happening right now. So putting this all into further perspective, let's get rid of that. Let's look at all of this here. Just be cautious, as you can see on the weekly as well. We have broken this support, rejection there, broke through, rejection, broke through. So we are just looking anywhere up to 9.2 to 9.3 for any possible reversals. Obviously pushing up to candle bodies, you're looking at around 9.5, but overall you get the gist. All I really mean, if I just get rid of this and drag this up here, is this zone is just a little key region of interest now we've broken through. Looking at that retest over there, potential fall down, slam, fulfill these regions, and then bang, absolutely start booming. Now, the crucial thing I want to mention here, if I just I'll leave all of this here for now actually. Hopefully you guys can still see. I know the chart's got a bit more clogged up now, but I'm just trying to show my point here. Let's just say we do not fulfill the head and shoulders. We have an extra week to see this head and shoulders come through. If it does follow the same analogy, remember the exact same distance from there, from the breakout. Let's cover that. Is that the exact candle? We can even drag that by one, I think. Yeah, we could even drag that by one. It's not a problem. So looking at the breakout, we are looking at around 1 to 2 weeks on top of where we are now. Around the 1st to 2nd week of October, we could be seeing a very large catalyst. And it does look like right now, if this does come through, this will align almost precisely with the 1st week of October. So putting all of this into perspective and looking at how these Fibonacci's can hold up, the first thing you'll notice on the Fibonacci retracements is the Fibonacci extensions. The first one aligns with all-time highs at $20,000. The second one aligns at $16,500 to $17,000, exactly where I said we would be heading straight after breaking out from the $14,000 region. This is something I even covered at $14,000 before we even had this Fibonacci set up in play. If you go back to the old videos, I said the first region BTC would be flying to upon a break of $14,000 would be $16,000 to $16,500, and the Fibonacci now aligns there. Guys, I'm not even joking. We could very easily be there by the end of 2019. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. This is nothing scary. $16,000 is on the cards, and it most definitely will remain on the cards even though we're falling lower. And this is another point of this Wizard Wednesdays in particular. I'm trying to drive home the ideology that this market is long term. Everything you're seeing now does not take away from how bullish I am on the crypto market altogether. I could not be more bullish compared to any other person. And that's what I'm trying to show here. You do not need to be married to a certain bias. You need to be level-headed at all times. And just because I'm calling for $6,000, it doesn't mean I want price to be there forever. It just means I know how to read charts and I understand market dynamics. So all I'm saying is BTC could very easily hit $6,000, but that will just make me even more bullish because it's unfolded exactly as I anticipated. And the goal here is to always have a game plan with every single movement you make, and understanding that, again, this is why the Wizard community right now, this is why I love how well the community has grown, because you guys are seeing BTC fall from $14,000 in the start or first half of 2019 down to $8,000. And you guys are just celebrating, you're posting GIFs, you're making memes. Like, it's become almost comedy because there's no need to be emotional. There's no need to actually be caught up in your feelings or trying to understand what's going on. When you understand, and the reason I gave you these levels so far in advance is because I knew if it does come through, which very likely was going to become true, I just knew it was just bound to happen. There was too much this is not organic growth. This was not organic by any means necessary. The precision, remember I mentioned key numbers in yesterday's video. The fact price could hit 14,000 on the dot or within this zone and slam all the way back down. Again, monthly chart now, this is where things get interesting. Exactly where 2 months in a row candle bodies opened and closed for the reversal of the 2017 bull run. We came up and tapped exactly at this level. There's no coincidence. We reversed all the way down ever since. So now you look on the monthly, I had all of this covered as well. There was a certain key level I had marked out somewhere. I don't think this is going to come through anymore or any of this stuff, but you can enjoy that as well. You've got that to that, wick to wick, all these confluences. I know it looks messy, but you'd be surprised how these trend lines actually work with BTC. If I go over to the weekly, all you can see, guys, is just another crossing point around October, where we could be seeing some further movement. But again, it's nothing too crucial. It's nothing to really get excited about for now. You've also got this one just there, another cross point. 1, 2, looking at where this is here, perfect cross point around this region, just adding those confluences and just giving you a bit more clarity on what could actually be going on right now. But overall, what we'll be looking at, again, if you want to get out the trade right now, by all means necessary, you can do so and just take those profits. So again, you entered from around here, you've just seen that movement. You can obviously go for the final way, but just make sure there's a little profit left running if that's the case. Don't leave too much on the line. This move is more than big enough, more than enough. So daily perspective, again, this just needs to be tested. It should actually be refilled and retested, looking at how it is. But if it does happen and it does actually come back to this region, then it should be around 9.2 to 9.4. I do not see it pushing too much higher, and it probably won't come for that trend line just yet. But seeing how this normally works as well, you could see that in a very rapid move. This could literally happen within a single candle pushing up to here, just checking the validity of this level. For a support level this crucial to actually break, then it obviously gives us a 50-50 scenario. That's why I'm not too confident it's going to pull back just yet, but I am obviously leaving this open, because when a level this strong breaks so significantly, it normally means the selling pressure has far outweighed the buying pressure, which means the selling pressure could continue. You have to look at this from a retail perspective and an amateur perspective. Every single person who doesn't understand trading, or any market participant, you have to remember, for every winner there will be a loser. And you also have to realize that, excuse me, almost just coughed there. What you have to also realize is the majority of people were not expecting such a movement. I'm watching some of the biggest faces. People are retweeting, sending stuff to me. People that were criticizing my own calls, they were all saying long. Every single person was screaming long from the $10,000 region because it was looking to reverse. And as I said, this bullish candle here was looking like a large form of manipulation prior to backed. It would have enticed many people to go long as pre-manipulation. Many people would have expected this to be institutions driving price down to then get one final price before buying again, and then rocketing price before backed. The truth is, backed, the agenda was to always bring price down to the $8,500 region. This is exactly where it's gone to. There's no coincidence backed launches, and the same level that we called 4 months in advance is the exact level that comes through. CME futures, there was a large gap at this level, around 8.5. That's been lingering for several months as well, and it's one of the final regions that needed to be refilled. So honestly, anything from here is really a bonus in my eyes. When it comes to long-term investing as well, guys, even putting margin trading aside, you shouldn't be trying to time this on a long-term investment basis. These levels right now for BTC, it's almost 50% off from the all-time highs already. So putting that into perspective, these are beautiful times to actually be accumulating cryptocurrency for your long-term portfolio. You know, many people are asking me, should I buy now? Should I buy now? And the truth is, you should be averaging in your buys at these exact prices, because as cheap as they are, they may fall a little lower as well. It doesn't really matter anymore. It's gone so low and so significantly lower, this is XRP, lower than what was actually available prior to, let's just say, at the beginning of 2019. If you were buying BTC here, there's a reason I said don't buy yet, just wait. Because all of these people, even if we missed this initial bulk movement here, I think it was this breakout, even in the moment, when this happened, I think I lost around 100 followers. You know, people were going crazy. They're going, you know, what's going on? We'll never see these levels again. We've missed out. I said, just relax, just stay calm, patience is a virtue, and patience in the market will always come back around to reward you and repay you if you can be patient enough to let the market come back to you. This is one of my biggest theories and one of my biggest analytical advantages. I always let the market come to me. I said 8,500. When it comes to my level, then we strike. Look where it comes to my level, I can now strike. If it doesn't come to my level and then my level is just below and I'm getting angry, I'll likely make some form of premature or irrational decision, and that's not the goal here. The goal is to be in control of as much as you physically can. At the end of the day, the market cannot be controlled, the market cannot be beaten. But if there are certain aspects you can put under your control and have a certain element of control and power over the market, then by all means necessary, you should be putting those steps into place to your advantage. You should always be in control of whatever you physically can and what the market allows you to be in control of. So with all of that said, and all of that in mind, BTC for a long-term investment, buying physical BTC, I'll be buying right now. If it falls to 7,000, I'll be buying again. If it falls to 6,000, I'll almost definitely be buying and putting a lot more on the line, because the $6,000 region now that we're seeing this trend line, broken trend line, this trend line, there are a lot of crazy confluences coming through. And I have a feeling if I'm even to whip up this very quickly, no, it may not, no, that doesn't work. That's just forcing it. I won't actually do that for now. But what you can see is this trend line as well. Although not perfect, even if you do it from there, you are seeing an overall trend line from 1, 2, 3 as well. So that's been holding, and this could be another theory. Once we actually break through this one, we break through, we reject, we pull down, and we continue higher. So this is the overall gist for 2019 now, and this is what I really think is happening. And looking from every single thing that's going on, it is really looking like it is going to be our moment. So to summarize BTC before we shift over to XRP, we could be seeing a very short-term retest around this region here, 9,000 to around 9.4, ideally 9.2 to 9.4, but just given that zone in general, you can see it's very clear, it's our key level as well, so these are all aligning perfectly. And again, showcasing the key levels, BTC breaks below, it's a shocking move. I'm reading headline articles today saying flash crash this, investors fleeing, investors shocked, but we weren't shocked, we were anticipating this, so there shouldn't be any shock, and the key levels are aiding that further. BTC breaks, everyone's surprised. Where does it go? Straight onto my key level. It's almost like you're giving boundaries. These are almost like train stations. The train has arrived at its next destination, or a plane has arrived at the next airport. If you start viewing these as almost service stations or stop-off points or fuel stations, petrol stations, whatever they may be, you're essentially watching the train ride its way to the next stop. We left one stop and we went straight to the next stop. It's like looking at the tube maps on the London Underground when you see the huge tubes going, the maps on the trains where it shows you going from like Oxford Street to Bond Street, whatever's going on. You can see it's just going from one station to the next station. It arrives, and if it does leave this station, it will go to the next station. If it reverses and the train turns back around, it goes to the next station. These are very easy ways to make trading much easier for yourself and much more understandable. Looking at how this is reacting now, this should actually maintain. There is a bit of trickery going on around this region, but I do believe there's going to be a little trick to push up higher, retest around here, and then continue to this zone first of all. If we do see that little push, then maybe, just maybe, worst case scenario, it does do a $9,800, $10,000 retest, but I do think that's pushing it a little bit. I do not see that happening just yet. Looking at where this is marked up, maybe we can see around 9.6. That makes a bit more sense. There is some action around here, but for now, just keep that overall focus on this region. And if this does pull through, you can see and understand with such huge movement occurring in the market, this could be occurring right now. It could be exactly like this. You've seen the slam lower, the reversal higher, which we're currently holding up with. The reversal comes all the way back to this zone over here before inevitably dumping lower. So for the time being, if you are still holding shorts, what you could do is, if you do not want to actually take all the profit off the table, is you could very easily, let me just show you an example. So let's just say your short is running from here, bearing in mind what a crazy trade. Let's just mark that out. You're currently sitting around 2,700 pips profit. 2,700 pips, people. That is absolutely unbelievable. Dragging that a bit higher, you're looking at around, 2,400. But the overall move was 2,700 pips. I don't think I've seen anyone really give that kind of call in the market before. Let's just say you are looking at this right now. Here's what I would personally be doing in this situation. If I was short, I would have My stop loss all the way down here around $8,000 to $9,000, even lower to be honest with you. But let's just say you want to play it safe. This would be my stop loss. If price comes back up here, my stop loss would be wiped out. But here's what I would also be doing to counteract and hedge against this movement. I would also consider a very low position long up to around these regions here, even up to 9294. Let's just put 9760 for now, just to be safe. And let's just put this way below here. Wick fishing could be occurring still, so just be cautious, or you can put it down to here. So you've got around a 3 to 14 risk to reward, or depending on what you do, around a 3 risk to reward. Now, what I would be doing in this situation is entering a long position with only 20 to 50% of what I would normally enter. Even then, I would probably risk less. But because a big amount of money has been made, I mean, the risk to reward on this, if you actually look from here, it originally started off like that. Now that your stop loss is in profit, this is just pure profit, and you're looking at a crazy risk to reward ratio. So what you could be doing is entering long here, nice stop loss just below. If price does blow through, remember, you do not want to be risking anywhere near what your normal risk size would be and anywhere near what your profits have been. You do not want to be eating into any profits at all. You want to take a very low risk trade. Again, it could be risky in terms of working, but the capital allocation is just as important. And I do believe 20 to 50%, even 50% is pushing it. Try and do 20 to 30% of your normal position size, and you could maybe just make some extra money along the way. And the way this would work is, if price starts rocketing higher, it will hit your stop loss. Your long position then continues in profit. You've closed out all the profit from the short move. This then moves into profit in your favor. And then once we're back within any of these regions from here, again, a very wide zone because we have a lot of other factors in play right now, we can then look to go short again. So once we've actually seen this break through, stop loss gets wiped out. This trade is now closed. This trade now flies into profit up here. Once this is done, we close this trade. Or again, you leave it running, but I highly doubt we'll be breaking through once we reverse from here. And then from there, you go back in short, look at any of these regions, let's just say even here for now, put that there, all the way back down. You've got 7,460 and you've got 6,600. So realistically, if we do go to the daily now, you can see the broken trend line could be retested around here and still come back down, all in time for the 1st to 2nd to week of October. So looking at this here, 7th of October, that's the extension from the breakout. It's almost aligning perfectly. This could all be happening within the basis of 2 weeks. Pullback, bang, bang. If not, we will just go straight down to these levels and then we will go long from there. But all I know is the big turning points for me in the market right now. Let's just see if this holds first. But this is why I'm in a bit of a confused perspective, because we've seen it unfold exactly as planned. But now, the way it's unfolded and the way the time has gone, the actual date we're at, there are so many different factors that, only I personally use for analysis. This will be in the platform itself, but there are many different fundamental and technical factors I've applied to this setup, which is why I'm really trying to break it down on a nitty-gritty level. So again, we've gone 40 minutes into just BTC alone because I'm just trying to express everything that's on my mind, everything I can see. We've now seen this is one of the greatest calls I've ever given, so it's only right I'm giving you guys every single step of the way. Since we've been prepared for this for around 4 months now, it just means anything we kind of project from this point onwards should very likely unfold in our favor. Despite that one little slip up on XRP, guys, this has been a continuous streak now of maybe 7 to 8 weeks. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and I don't think I've ever been this on fire before. And to be honest with you, I pretty much credit everything down to the platform. I've just been using the platform. I've even been going over my own videos, my own educational videos. I'm going over them right now, and it's just so funny how the more I've been studying my own content, because even I forget sometimes, it's very hard to maintain on top of everything, especially whilst running all of these other operations of Wizard as well with the team. So when I actually went over my own content and then all of this stuff started working better in my favor, it just made me realize the content's working, the platform is working, and that's what's really given me the upper edge in the market right now. So putting that aside as well, if we just see the straight drop down, guys, best believe we are going to rally. There will be so many buy orders placed here already. I can guarantee you this zone here, once we fall into this region, all I will say is if you're not buying there, there's nothing I can do to help you. If you're not taking this advice right now, there is not much more I can do, because this is literally free golden nuggets that no one else will tell you. No one else prepared you for this kind of movement, so it's in your best interest. Everything I do is within your best interest. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm just trying to give you guys an opportunity that no one else out there can provide. I'm trying to give you an insight that no one else can provide, and also an outlook and an understanding of the markets where the majority are just sheep. You know, they're all just doing the same thing. They don't know what they're doing. I'm here to give you guys clarity, here to give you guys understanding, so you know exactly what's happening next. So for the time being, just before we go over to XRP now, you can obviously take those guidelines, if not just get out altogether, and you can just wait. If you're out altogether, just wait for the market to make its next move. If it starts dropping down to here, then if you've got a little bit of a trade running, simply just close the trade off altogether, and you can start accumulating long positions for both physical crypto and for margin trading. If it comes all the way back up, you can either close your position out already, take the profit from the short, or you can catch the long up there instead. Once we have hit this region, if we do hit this region, we will be shorting the living daylights out of BTC, because this will be a simple retest. You've got the fibs up there as well. We're coming straight back down for the $6,000 region, and once we wipe, no matter what happens, once we are here, and if we do hit this region, which is now massively increased as a likelihood, then we start maintaining and focusing on the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame, where the longer term A, B, C potential targets are for the extensions, the retracements, on the weekly perspective, and then the retracements up here. So very easily by the end of the year, we could be all the way back here. Anywhere from 11,000 onwards is a key region of interest for me by the end of 2019. And looking at the 2019 cross point, which is around here, let's mark that out actually. Let's get some visibility. Or no, we'll go back to this chart. We'll use this as an example. So also to mention on this, when I did say the $8,400 to 8,000 zone, we landed exactly at $8,000, exactly where the arrow was, projecting the same targets, as you can see, by the end of the year. And if you look at the fact that we've achieved, let me just zoom this out for 1 second. The fact we've actually achieved these regions, guys, before the year has even ended. I mean, the fact we've actually, the minute we dropped into our purple zone exactly as expected, the fact we've come through to these regions so quick just shows that by the end of the year, we could very easily actually be continuing with this overall upside bias. And you've got the weekly trend line that I drew yesterday for Bitstamp as well. You can see if we do see a little push, it may even hit like 5,000 on Bitstamp, but worst case scenario, we should be looking at around $6,000 inverse head and shoulders, and this is all looking great. So all of the alignment works out well. The quicker we fall down to these regions, the quicker we start to see an end of year reversal. And if you're not doing both physical and margin trades, then again, I do not know what to say, because that is exactly what you should be doing. But let's finalize. Let's go over XRP now, because what it's looking like right now, before I made this video, it was working incredibly well in our favor, exactly at the region given. So let's just go over to XRP. So with XRP, here's where things get even more interesting. On the 4-hour perspective, look at this, guys. When we broke through and we slammed all the way down again yesterday, as I covered, this was looking incredibly bullish. A nice reversal. All the odds were looking stacked in our favor. That's why I gave a potential long opportunity. It was only when I dropped down to the 1 hour and I noticed we'd broken through support, rejected as resistance, I quickly said, let's just get out of this trade. Once we hit this trend line again with this bearish closure, it was looking like a big false flag. And then if you notice this is a key giveaway I didn't mention yesterday actually, that I probably should have. Let me just draw that out, mark this down a bit more. When we actually closed this candle below this crucial support region, all I knew was it was looking like a big sign that we were going to fall, and that's exactly why I got us all out. Many of you, I was getting messages saying, you know, I've saved 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 purely because you told us to get out. Not just from this trade, but purely because I told them BTC and XRP would fall lower. So just by giving those calls, it's not even about making money all the time. It's sometimes about just saving money, and that's what I really think is crucial as well when it comes to all of this. So we've understood, we've caught a huge move from BTC as well and XRP. We're looking at around 31 cents on the short, fallen all the way down to 21 cents. You've captured 10 cents in movement. Now, do you want to see how many pips that is on XRP? Let me just show you that. Around 31 cents. Why is this magnet continuously on? From here, all the way down to there, you've captured another 1,000 pips. So you've captured 1,000 pips pretty much off that movement alone. Now, don't get me wrong, that's pretty impressive if you ask me. That is over 3,000 pips off a single pair altogether. Going back over to this, how many pips was this again exactly? Let's just calculate that if you want to just see how many pips you've been given in a single week. Now, this is the thing. This is what I was saying as well. We had a head and shoulders here on BTC. We had the shoulder, the head, and the shoulder. It was resting perfectly on this level. Everyone was saying it was going to go higher. It looked, and it was very tedious. Even when we shorted from here, the rejections around here were crazy. So sorry, let's just mark this out here. Even after this, you could see how tedious it was. It took pretty much a whole month to actually see this come through. We've been stuck on our hands for ages, just waiting for some form of movement. Now this is here, we cannot complain. This is absolutely marvelous. So let's just drag that lower. Altogether 2.6. You're looking at around 2,500 pips. 3,500 pips, sorry, collectively across both setups. Now, I don't know about you, but that is a phenomenal track record from 2 trades alone. Not to mention, if you caught the Ethereum move as well, then you've just bonused even more. It's just an extra profit. I didn't even remember the Ether. That's why I posted it on Twitter after. We'd had the $190 region down from around 230, 220. We saw that come through, and then we saw the final push down to the 160s as well. So if you throw Ether into the mix, you're looking at over 4,000 pips collectively across all 3 trades. Now that is a track record in itself, and a very good. So what is the date today? I mean, it's a very good end of September, if you ask me. Even with the XRP trade, which got wiped out and we counteracted, we've ended up making even more of a profit from this anyway. So it's been a phenomenal September and arguably the biggest month ever. But here's what's interesting with XRP. Now that we're looking at this a bit clearer, looking at this daily, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this, and let's get rid of this. And also, we'll keep that for now. That's quite crucial actually. This confluence is nicely. You can see when we did break through, we closed exactly at our 2350 region. I mean, if I go to the 4 hour, you will see that even clearer. The exact level that was given, we arrived straight to as well. Just like BTC, and as I covered earlier, the importance of people just giving random numbers and just saying it will hit 20 to 30 cents, that doesn't count. That's too wide of a range. Precision is crucial. We saw the drive down, we tapped our level, we even breached the 22 cents region, which was our final target before we could start having an outlook on the 20 and 16 cents region. And what's going on right now after seeing that candle closure, look at the 4 hour, 2350 zone over here, covered perfectly, held up phenomenally well, pushed up higher. We didn't even see a wick fish down to here, it just held up. So all we've done, we've broken the long-term weekly trend line. Again, guys, this is the most crucial trend line we have, the one that I keep extending and moving. We've broken through, we've rejected, and we've come up to retest this level. So the same way that I'm heavily conflicted with BTC right now is the same way that I'm also heavily conflicted with XRP now we've seen this movement, which is why I advise to just take the profit off the table and let the market do its thing. Because although we are currently rejecting this region, the same way that BTC is currently rejecting the broken region around here as well, we also have on XRP another counter trend line just like BTC. As you can see, broken counter trend, potential retest. XRP, broken counter trend, potential retest. What I would like to see happen is 26 cents retested. We've got a broken trend line that needs to be retested. We've broken through, we'll come back up. Alongside that, we've also got the trend line here. 1, 2, 3. Remember the rule, the third bounce is always the most significant. We broke through, came down, we broke through again. Now we reject not only this support level here, not only this counter trend line, but also this trend line. There are 3 confluences needing retesting in the exact same location. So it wouldn't surprise me to see price try and pull back that little bit further towards 26 cents before gearing up to actually see the likes of 20 and 16 cents come through. I do truly believe, again, if you see these levels here and you're not buying around these regions, then you are going to be left behind, because the market is going to absolutely erupt from these levels and it will be leaving you behind. Even today, after seeing this significant drop, many people would have bbeen wanting to have bought XRP around this region once it exploded higher. Again, this was the move that caught us out, and everyone was saying to me, I thought you said 20 cents, I thought you said 24 cents, 23 cents. Guess what? If you were just a bit patient, you just waited through, stayed out of your emotions and kept it cool, you would have actually got an even better price than everyone that took profit here. And this is why I always say, if we miss a move, don't panic. Because the people that caught this move, I can guarantee you, the majority did not take profit off the table. They sat there, they awaited the next push higher, and they got absolutely wrecked. But we are not here to get wrecked. If a trade even goes against us, we have risk management in place. We are not losing anything too significant. So looking at this push lower right now, and looking at how this has all been fulfilled, field, you still ended up better than the people that entered here if you simply just waited an extra month. And it's crazy how a month can seem like almost a year in the crypto market because of these huge movements. But by focusing on this longer term picture, I'm just trying to give you guys the clarity that hopefully you all need. But also looking at it this way as well, technically the trend line is currently holding quite nicely, and I should actually extend that out to there right now. We have rejected through, we have held quite nicely, so there's a lot of confliction, there's all this crazy stuff going on. And on a daily level as well, we've technically already retested. This is why I'm concerned, and I'm just happy to let this fall for now, because although we've got the overall region up here, we have broken this support as well. So if I just get rid of this, drag this up to there, where all of these wicks and candles have accumulated, you can see we've pushed back, we've rejected here, and then we could be continuing down as well. So it's best to just let the market do its thing for the time being. If you did catch the long opportunity of what I've given you, then you should be okay. And now that I've adjusted this trend line, you've seen the reversal, you've seen the push down. Technically, let me just fix that precisely. That's what it should look like. We've broken through, we've rejected. So actually, all you can do as well, I've just realized I actually gave these long trades out for you guys to take. All I would be doing in this situation, looking at this right now, my stop loss would just be around here. I'll be leaving it anywhere from around 238 to around 24, just to keep it nice and tight. It's only a short-term movement to capture, and you should actually already be in pretty good profit from this trade as well. So let that run. It's just trade after trade right now. They're just flying left, right, center. Hopefully you guys are making a crazy amount of money. And if you go over to the XRP ideology as well, I mean the BTC one, because there's a bit of crazy stuff going on, just as I showed you earlier, keep it simple, keep it very simple. Stop loss just below 20 to 50% of your usual position size. Leave this open just in case something drastic does happen, just in case we see the quick pull back up and then the quick slam back down. Just leave this here. Even a 4.44 risk to reward is phenomenally good. See this push only to 9.2 up to around 9.4. You're still looking at 2.5 to around 3 risk to reward ratio. The setups are incredible and they are looking very, very good indeed. But the best thing to do, guys, is just be patient for now. We've seen the bulk of the movement. We know the overall agenda is for the end of year for 2019 to begin gearing up for the 2020 bull run. I do believe 2020 is where this catalyst will commence, and it's in our best interest to be on board right now. From a longer term perspective, just disregard any of these margin trading ideologies I've given you and just focus instead on absolutely everything I've just told you that's long term. Physical coins, buy now. Drops here, buy again. Drops here, buy again. You should be dollar cost averaging anywhere from these regions. It's taken us, we have not seen this level since June 2019, and it's not likely once we break higher we may ever see this level again. Now that's a chance I'm not willing to take, and it's a chance I'm not willing to let the wizards suffer from either. Now guys, I hope you've enjoyed this analysis. It's been an incredibly long wait, it's been tedious. The backlash and everything that's come with this call hasn't been easy, but we've got through it together. We've all sat there, we were patient, and many of you who did believe in the call just knew it was only a matter of time before the market was manipulated. The fact we've managed to capture this move way ahead of anyone else in the market just shows we're already 10 steps ahead, and whatever happens from here is very likely going to continue in our favor, because if this has come through, then everything else is more likely than not going to follow through quite smoothly, because it all fits within the same agenda. Now, again, as I always say, leave me some comments. Did you guys make some money? Did you save some money? What's your overall feedback? How do you actually feel about price being at this level? Have you adopted the wizard mindset yet? Are you excited? Are you sad? Are you scared? How do you actually feel about this whole predicament? You know, just obviously the usual procedures, the like, the subscribes, everything would be absolutely appreciated. And just realize, guys, if it wasn't for you, I would not be able to do this. I'm getting a lot of thank yous, I'm getting a lot of this, that, but the truth is, if it wasn't for you guys in the first place, I wouldn't be able to actually maintain doing what I do. And it's with the support of all of you that I'm able to even provide these calls and maintain stress-free mannerisms, for example, whilst looking at the charts, because whilst you guys may see me keeping you sane and helping you, it's you guys also benefiting me at the same time. It goes hand in hand. As much as I help you, you guys are helping me just as much as well. Hope you've enjoyed this Wizard Wednesdays, guys, and I'll be seeing you very shortly within the Wizard Telegram and Twitter as well.